Well, I thought, first of all, I thought it was the best day we've had since we've been in fall camp. By far our best practice, all around. I was extremely impressed and excited about the energy level of these guys. Even from when they walked out of the locker room, you knew they were ready to go, and they should. That's what we expected, especially after of us having class on grass yesterday and focusing in on extended meetings and yoga and the things that we do to take care of them. And so that was to be expected, and they did not disappoint. I was extremely excited about them flying around, the energy level. I thought they had a little bit of adversity, which was great. The heat, I wish it was hotter, but that was good. He's got guys out there sweating and moving and having to think when it gets a little hot and practice going drill to drill, so I was excited about that. Also excited to see former players out there again. We continue to have former players come back and come to our practice. I think you saw a guy out there like Ken Hamlin, a great player that from here was out there watching practice today. I'm excited about 300-plus RSVPs of our former player barbecue to come to be a part of the scrimmage this weekend. I'm really excited about that and getting these guys back on campus. Got a few injuries to report. Obviously, you saw T.J. Hammonds. T.J. actually had an ankle sprain, came back out, taped it up, came back out, finished up practice, and was out there. We held him from practice, but he was out there and in his shoes and going drill to drill. So we'll reevaluate him, but nothing severe. Dalton Wagner had his appendix removed. I guess it was yesterday morning. We expect to have him back in the next 10 to 14 days, hopefully. Hope to get that back. Randy Ramsey was precautionary, kept him in yellow today. He'll be back Monday. Rakeem Boyd, obviously saw Rakeem out there. Rakeem was, we just put him in green, which means full speed but no contact. Again, for precautionary reasons. Jeremy Patton is progressing every day, so out of his boot, moving around, doing a little bit of jogging, so we'll see how that goes. That's day to day, but overall, just excited. Anytime you have an injury, anytime you have some adversity that hits you on the field, it's just an opportunity for the next guy to be ready to go, and it's football. And so, it gives a chance for these guys to step in and perform, and the guys that are injured to get back there and get mental reps. And so, but overall, really, really good day. We'll have an early turn in the morning, early flip in the morning for early practice. Will be obviously our kickoff luncheon, and our kids will go to the Children's Hospital tomorrow afternoon, and then we'll come back in tomorrow night, then finish up and get ready for our final scrimmage on Saturday. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
Shandy, with that appendix deal, you think that would knock Wagner out of the opener? And have you ever had this kind of multi-part question? Have you ever, going back to your high school days, you ever had a preseason camp where you lost this offensive lineman for a variety of reasons? Just what do you think about the stuff you're having to mix and match over there? I guess Clennon's was the first team left tackle. What do you think about all this stuff that's going on with your line?
Well, obviously it presents challenges, but so does the course of a season, and you got to be ready for those. And so I think that obviously in that offensive line room, we've been dealt our fair share of challenges. It's kind of I hadn't had to deal with this much moving around. Especially this early, but if it has to happen, I'd much rather it happen early than late in the season. Guys are getting a lot of good work in and moving around, and Coach Fry's doing an excellent job of developing these guys. But I do expect Dalton to be back. It's day to day right now. I think if you go 2 weeks from today, you're looking at right at getting close to the opening kickoff. But so we'll see how it goes, and I don't think anybody can answer that just yet. But fortunate we're going to be able to get him back, and fortunate we got other guys in there that are learning and picking up.
When you heard, was he just feeling ill, and you guys took him to the hospital? And when you heard it was appendix, were you thinking, man, what else can happen to these guys?
Well, when he was feeling ill and just kind of nauseous, and so just for precautionary, we took him, and that's what it was. And so, you know, you look at it and you just kind of shake your head and go, well, okay, well, you know, what's next? You know, who's next now? That we got to move around. And so, but again, you know, you can't dwell on it. You don't have time to dwell. You just got to go, okay, we've been dealt that hand. We got to move. Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Nobody's going to stop. And we got to respond. And that's just part of it. It's part of life. And you got to have the next guy ready to go. And that's what they're doing. And Dalton will be back out here. Hopefully see him around this afternoon. And he'll be back in meetings. So it'll probably be just, you know, in 2 weeks, it'll be at his call on that, and doctors.
Completely different change of topic here. When did you discover your fascination for calling plays? How young were you? And did you get in trouble a little bit? Some of your previous coaches told me you got in a little trouble for coming up with your own plays.
Yeah. You've been talking to some guys, haven't you? I just growing up, obviously loving football, and you know, and when I first got into high school coaching, I thought I was going to run anywhere from the wishbone to the single wing to the shotgun to the spread, and I had a playbook this thick, and you know, and so I was gonna be the guy that runs it all, and then you realize that you don't have time to practice it all, so you better get good at a few things. But I did. I actually checked an audible and got coach didn't care for it too much, so. But it was that, yeah, you have been talking to some guys. So it was me and my best friend, and he was the left guard, and we just did a little check, see if I couldn't do an option pitch to the guard coming around. So didn't work out too well. So all I know is that I was told that I was needed on the sidelines. So that's where I spent the rest of the day. So, but it was good. That was fun. We laugh about it now.
Is there anybody else in the defensive line you can move to offense, or and just kind of how are Clinton and Robinson and some of those guys progressing?
Yeah, they're progressing well, and I'm not going to move anybody else. We you know, I think we got a good rotation right now, D-line wise. We'll get these other guys back, and you know, obviously Brian Wallace was back in today, and Dylan Hayes has been back the last few days, so we've gotten some depth back. But obviously losing Dalton was you know, we were kind of trying to find that nucleus right in there. But Silas is doing good. You know, just being a freshman. You know, he sometimes gets the freshman stare, which is that long hallway look down there at the end of that hallway, and you try to figure out if camp's ever going to end. But he's done really good. He and Noah both, and I'm excited about both these young men.
Chad, has there been any developments with the kicking game, punting game? Anybody emerging there?
Not as consistent as I want right now. No. We had a couple situations out here, and we had to kick field goal and did some good things there. Obviously, Connor Limpert's been the main one right there. You know, Blake and Reed Bauer in the punting game right now. Again, we're just trying to stress these guys, and we'll know a little bit more after coming out of Saturday scrimmage. We're going to have a few more live punts and live kicks. But that's an area we've got to be, you know, as many others, but we got to be more consistent in that area. That's a big part.
Coach, not that I expect you to, you know, tell us who the quarterback's going to be today, but do you have an idea at this point behind the scenes?
But I don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just asking if behind the scenes you have an idea of who it's going to be. If you guys have talked internally about where you think you're going to head. Not that you're going to tell us, but
Sure.
do you have an idea?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. We talk about it every day, and you know, we want the same guy every day. We want that guy, whoever that guy's going to be, and just because you know we get to a point and we do name one doesn't mean it's a lifetime contract and he's going to be the starting quarterback from now on. It doesn't mean that. It means that you're going to have to be on your game. And you know, there's been some good things out of all of them. I've been pleased with all of them, but they've all got to continue to keep pushing and keep getting better and keep, you know, moving that football down the field and doing the right things. And again, it's all about being that same guy every day. I mean, up or down, it doesn't matter. You got to be able to control your emotions. You got to be able to withstand adversity and keep pushing forward. And but no, we talk about it every day, and we're not ready to name anybody. I wouldn't know who to name today, to be honest with you. But outside of the fact that, you know, they got a good competition going on in that room. But hopefully this Saturday they'll have a little bit better idea.
Other than consistency at quarterback, kind of what are you looking for on Saturday, really being the last heavy lift of fall camp?
Yeah, I think we're going to put them in a few other situations. You know, it'll be a big, you know, we'll probably throw the ball a little bit more in this scrimmage than we did the last scrimmage. You know, usually your first scrimmage is more of run oriented, and our second scrimmages tend to be a little bit more pass oriented, and kind of put them in some different situations. So that's kind of what we'll be looking for. Watching wide receivers, see if wide receivers can make plays. Got DBs out there, watching them make plays. I mean, I think we got a good nucleus right there. I think Ryan Pulley's having an outstanding camp. I know what he can do. His time Saturday, he'll get good reps in, but he'll be limited. We want to see what the guys behind him, some of our older guys, can do, developing that depth. But we still got to keep pushing these guys, getting game shape. That's why every part of our practice. And usually when we go out there in a live situation or going out there in full pad situation, there's early on in practice, we got to go live. We have to tackle. The only way to get better at tackle is you got to tackle. Now, obviously you got to be smart, but that's why we try to make it one period out of the day or a couple periods here and there, mix it up. But you heard me talk about learning how to practice is so critical to our success and as we grow this football team to get better every day. But Saturdays, again, a lot of different situations we'll be in. I see what we can do.
Chad, with all the flux you've had on the O-line, how confident are you that you guys will have a cohesive unit when you open the season? The right side obviously is pretty experienced with Johnny and Brian. The left side looks like you're going to have to play a couple guys who never played in the game. How do you feel about all that? And did he have his surgery yesterday or Monday? Okay.
Yeah, it was yesterday. And I feel confident. We'll have the right guys in there. And, again, it's like any other position. You may move some guys around. Maybe it's going to be a work in progress. And, Austin Capps is coming on. I'm really excited about Austin. Again, for this is about his fourth practice in the offensive line. So I think he's going to be a great asset to us. The more practice he gets, the better he's going to get. And maybe he can solidify one of those positions in there, that left guard, which allows us to have some more moving parts in there. So
Every time we see the open part of the tackling, Malik Williams seems to break off some kind of run, and he did it today. What does he look like throughout camp?
Yeah, Malik's had a good camp. He's and I've talked about him early on. He weighs 225 pounds, and is grasping the offense as they all are, doing some good things. He's got to become a better in pass protection, and be able to play fast. And so, usually out there on the field, you've got 4 or 5 plays, however you're going, how many plays we do, and he's on and off, and he's got to be able to sustain the long term. And so that's some of the things he did in the scrimmage last week was really good. I want to see a guy that can get in there and how he responds playing 6 plays, 7 plays, and has to come off for a couple plays and gets back out there for 5 or 6 more, and with all the coaches off the field. And so that's his. Continues to keep pushing him and challenge him to be more consistent in understanding the pass protections.
For conditioning, does what happened at Maryland make you kind of reevaluate or double check on your procedures? How you handle things?
The biggest thing I would say with that is we're constantly focused on our guys and. And being aware of the way we structure our camp, and without a doubt, the heat out there is, that's real. And I've came from a program that you're out there practicing and it could be 105, 106 degrees, and so you have to constantly be focused on making sure we're taking care of those guys. And so that's something we've always done. And we'll continue to do, and that's just who our program is, and that's just what we're about. I think some of y'all saw that yesterday, and how we do some things, and how we structure some of our practices or our practices.
Where's the consistency with the wide receivers, and who are guys that are stepping up consistently on a daily basis that you guys have confidence in?
Yeah, you know what? I tell you who's had a really good practice. Jared Cornelius has really kind of came on and doing some really good things that playing consistent, kind of being that leader in that room. I'm excited to see that. The guy that keeps coming on and getting better, he's still got to keep pushing. But Corlin Jackson, you can see him coming off that knee injury. He's gotten better every day. And again, we're still a long way away, but you can see his confidence level getting better and better. Back over, let's see, Tobias Enloe's done some good things. Mike Wood. Obviously a young kid that was here in the spring. I didn't think Mike had a very good scrimmage last Saturday. but didn't practice much last week. He was off and on, kind of battling tightness in his hamstring. He's over that. So he's had a great practice this week. So the challenge to him is consistency. But Mike is a guy that we're expecting a lot of great things out of. Davion Warren is electric with the ball in his hands. He's done some good things. So again, we've got a lot of guys. Jonathan Nance, Gary Cross is a guy that's slowly having a really good camp. I mean, he's just doesn't say much, but he's slowly going to work and having a good camp. Is Jordan Jones, and we've got a group of them. We need one or two to really emerge as that true playmaker, and we've seen some. We just need more consistency out of all of them, but they're working extremely hard. Coach Stepp's doing a really good job with them.
Giving up sacks has been a real issue the last couple of years, and with all the stuff you've had to do on the line, do you feel good that your scheme, getting the ball out fast, will help reduce the sacks? Or just how do you feel about the sack situation going in?
Well, sacks or any type of TFL is detrimental to any offensive drive, and that's a stat that we keep. TFLs is, and as well as sacks, but. Getting the ball out of your hands, knowing what to do with the ball, being able to check your protections the right way. A lot of people, when you see, they gave up 6 sacks, they gave up 8 sacks, they've given up however many sacks. Everybody wants to take the offensive line out and blame them. And when you go back and look at it as a coach, it could have been very easily on the quarterback or a quarterback and a wide receiver that didn't identify the hot and didn't throw the hot. And the protection was called right, but we didn't get the ball out in time. And so those are things that we're, as you progress in this offense, understanding where your answers are to get that ball out.
And you mentioned going to the Children's Hospital tomorrow. That's obviously a new facility. Is that just something you've always done, or what resulted in that, your decision to do that, to go visit the kids?
Yeah, we've been a part of the Children's Hospital where we've been in our previous stop at SMU, and being a part of the pet therapy program there and impacting kiddos' lives. And what you find is when your players, you take the players into these hospitals, to the Children's Hospital, is they always go in there thinking they're going to impact a young person's life. And what they do, and I tell our coaches all the time, I says, just stand on the bus when they get back on the bus, and watch how those kids have impacted their life. And because we've been in some rooms that parents and kids are going through strong, bad adversity in their life, and we at least get a smile on a face and provide them hope, and or bring a dog in there, and so those are the same things that we want to transition into the Northwest Arkansas area too, and Paula and I do, and be a part of. And we took our players there this past spring, and we'll take several trips. Matter of fact, we'll go tomorrow, and then we'll go back again in December, and back again in April. And so it's part of who we are. That's who we've partnered with, and just to know that we can make an impact in young kids' lives, and not only that, but they can make an impact in our players' lives as well. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Offensive line numbers, and we go out there and we count them. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you're counting them too.
Mm-hmm.
What's the right number, and is what this camp's been like impacted in your thoughts on what the right number is for an offensive line group?
Yeah, you want to have 15 on scholarship. If you're ever going to oversign, you oversign on the offensive line and defensive line. More so on the defensive line, because if it doesn't work out, you can move them to offensive line. But that's always been my focus. But with that being said, as we look, we knew coming into this year our numbers were low. They were low before we started the season. They were low in the spring, and so I think that moving forward, obviously moving Austin Capps over, Deion Malone was one that we moved over, and Deion was having an outstanding camp, and so that was, when you lose guys like that, that's it's tough on depth. And what it does is it forces other guys to get, maybe reps that they're not ready, or they're getting a lot of reps. And so you have to do a great job of managing their individual work. And that's where Coach Fry really does a good job with it. I mean, because again, when you're sitting out there and you got 8, 9, 11 guys, whatever you got, every day's been a little different. One day we had 8, one day we had 11, one day we had 12. So, you got to be smart in how you practice those guys. You got to get your work in, but you also got to know that you got to take care of them and work the fundamentals in there as well. So.
The move of Sosa back inside, what do you hope to get from that? Why the move? And where is he right now kind of in the progression of trying to work towards what you want to get from him?
Yeah, Sosa is becoming more and more comfortable every day. I was telling him today, man, he had a big smile on his face all day today. He looks comfortable. He looks apart. He's definitely taken that role and taking great pride in it and transitioning. Obviously, he's been bouncing around in and out on different schemes that we have, but I think it provides us depth inside. It's what's something we totally need. And we always talk about just having that player that's the team over me mentality. And Austin Capps, you look no further than him. I mean, when you approached Austin about making that move, he never blinked. He's like, Coach, well, I just want to win football games. And so that's what you're after, and if that's what's best for our football program is for Sosa to be inside to make that move, and what's best for this football team to win games, then that's what we're going to do. And he's done a great job transitioning into that, and he's gotten better. I will say this: he's gotten better as we've went through fall camp, and so it's really going to be interesting to watch him over the next few practices as we get into breaking camp on Saturday.
Thanks, Coach.
That it? All right, thank y'all. You bet.